Okay, so we've all probably butt dialed people with our phones in our pockets, right? But you will not believe it when I tell you what happened. The other day, I had to preach a wedding and I was all dressed up in a tie. I never wear a tie. I was all fixed up and ready to go and I didn't want to get there too early because if I get to weddings too early, I get really nervous before time to do the ceremony, right? So I had about 30 minutes to kill. I sat down and I played a Yahtzee game on my phone. I love to play Yahtzee on my phone. Some of you know this. Some of you I play on my phone. Pastor Bob even plays Yahtzee on his phone. But I played that for a few minutes and then I put my phone in my pocket. Now you will not believe what my phone did while in my pocket. It cost me $100. Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today on 45 RPM. I'm Scott and I appreciate you spending some time with me. Yes, I had my phone in my pocket. The Yahtzee game was turned on. I'm used to my phone just turning itself off. I wasn't paying attention. I was nervous. I was preoccupied with a wedding that I had to do on my mind and I wasn't paying attention to everything, but my butt was paying attention because it did something I could not believe. I get to the wedding, just about to start the service. I pull my phone out to make sure that my ringer's turned off, that it won't interrupt the service or the ceremony. So as I look at the phone, it says, "Congratulations, your purchase was just complete." I said, "Congratulations, my purchase is complete. What in the world are you talking about?" I get to looking. It says, "You just successfully purchased a dump truck load of extra rolls for $99. First of all, I don't have $99 to be spending on a Yahtzee game. Second of all, I was just absolutely blown away that my rear end was smart enough to do that on its own. It's amazing, isn't it? I've done the cell phone butt dial, where I've called people before and they've heard me walk around and talking with folks at work, but I've never done that before. That is a new one for me. So anyway, long story short, I had to finish the wedding. As soon as the wedding was over, I had to excuse myself, go outside for a minute, call Apple, iTunes, and tell them what I did. The lady at iTunes thought it was hilarious. She laughed at me and in good fun, and they issued a refund. Now, they said that it may take up to 30 days to get my refund back. 30 days! But anyway, they are going to fix it, so that's good. But all of that, I'm saying all that to say this. How many times do we do things that have hurt other people? How many times have we sinned and not even really realized that we've done it? And when we do that, how do we react to those that we've hurt? That's something that I think that I've thought about more here lately than I've ever thought about it before, because I've been praying recently that God would reveal to me the things that I've done, the things that I've said that perhaps have hurt other people, that perhaps have brought a bad image to his image, to his name. So I've asked him to reveal these things to me. I want to know it. If I've done something to bring damage to his kingdom, I want to know. But that also brought a second question to mind. What do we do whenever we've hurt someone that we didn't mean to hurt, maybe even years ago, and now it's been brought to our attention, the Holy Spirit has revealed it to us. How do we deal with that? Is it necessary for us to go to someone and ask them to forgive us? And try to rectify that situation. Now, the deal with my phone, I immediately had to get on as soon as I could get done with the wedding, I immediately had to get on the phone with iTunes and try to fix it because it was an expensive mistake. It's a beautiful day here where I live in Mississippi. There are a lot of beautiful things to see, and it's perfect temperature. Right above me is a wasp nest. It is right above me up there on the roof. Now, do I go up there and disturb that wasp nest and say, "Hey, you guys, I'm down here. I'm trying to do a podcast down here." Do I do this? Or do I change my behavior and leave those guys alone? That's kind of what I want us to discuss. There are some times when we have to fix a situation, when we have to, like I did with the phone. There are some times whenever I have hurt someone in the past and I've had to go to them. I remember some things that I've said to someone, maybe even back in high school. I remember someone that I dated and I did not treat the way I should have treated her. And I contacted her and told her, I'm sorry for the way that I treated you. I remember the things that I may have said or done in church. You know, in my last church, there were a lot of things that I wish I could fix. I wish I could go back and change some of the early sermons that I preached, because some of those were really bad. But you can, you know. So in some cases, I think it's really good to go back and try to fix it. In some cases, I think it does more damage than it would do good. Now, after this is over with, of course, I've got to take care of them. But, you know, the thing is, there are times whenever we don't see what's right in front of us, and then God reveals that to us, and then we have to adjust our behavior and how we respond to those people rather than going to them. Now, I want to say this too, and I want you to hear my heart when I say this. Many times it depends on how they are processing what you're doing. There are some people that I've sinned against that God has revealed that to me, and that person has no clue. They didn't realize what I had said, what I had done, and I asked God to forgive me, and I changed myself. But it's not necessary for me to go to them. It would do nothing but cause more problems, more harm. But there are some cases that do. There are some cases that do. They just do. And I want to encourage you to do two things. One, pray that God will reveal what He wants you to do. Pray that God will reveal how He wants us to be. And if He reveals something in our life that is sin, and we feel like we need to go to that person, and we know that person has processed that in such a way that is negative toward us or God, then in that case, go try to fix it. If that person is fine and the problem is really between you and God, then you fix the relationship with you and God, and then you go on loving that person and treating that person, treating the world around you, changing your behavior in a way that will affect Him, affect the kingdom in a very positive and spiritual way for them, for Him, for your own heart, you know. So next week, this is very important. I'm going to talk to you next week. Since this week we've talked about what happens whenever we realize that we have hurt someone, that we have sinned against someone that we didn't know, and what to do about that. Next week I'm going to talk with you what happens whenever someone else has hurt us and they don't realize it. How do we deal with a person that has sinned against us and they don't even know that they've hurt us? We're going to talk about that next week. God bless you. Let's go out there and let's go give them heaven.